Hey traders, Control the Trade here. We're going for part 3 of the live day trading and just following the market. Pretty exciting day in the market today, even though it felt really slow and kind of was slow, but we saw a lot of big names breaking out. A lot of these kind of like 15 minutes of fame kind of names having some major breakdowns today, which is not surprising. One of them is SOS. I don't know anything about the news story here, but I was just tweeting about it, and someone else was saying that they're under SEC investigation. This is a really, really ugly breakdown candle here with a lot of volume. I don't think that's going to be the low of the day here, the 464, even though this candle looks a lot better, obviously, that you'd like to see. But most of the time, the wide majority of the time, when you get a big breakdown candle like this, usually you're creating a little bear flag pattern and you're going to get another move to the downside. It's just the same with a move up. You kind of create that bull flag pattern. It is kind of strange to see it moving up right now. Maybe that story was nonsense, and maybe even though I never think the news leads the way, when you get a big break like that, it's pretty clear that that would be like a mini black swan event, and especially this late in the day. So this could be a fake out to get people back in. I'm strictly looking at the charts and not looking at any headlines or anything like that. We still have a ton of resistance up here because we're on a 10-minute chart, by the way, which is usually what I use to trade. This is only a day trading analysis. I have no idea about SOS or what they do. All I know is that I think it's tied to Bitcoin, and I think it's been kind of one of those hot stocks that's been volatile and looks manipulated, to me at least. So yeah, I mean, look at this. I have charted it already. You can see a couple important numbers I put up on the chart. I'm not sure when I did that, but this thing is a hot mess for the most part. I thought it was going to fill this gap right here at about 450. Still could do that. Or we came down really strong, did not fill the gap, and we're bouncing off a little bit, which is usually actually a strong move. So I know I'm kind of contradicting myself here. The toughest part is that we're at the end of the day. There's less than a half an hour left. So this thing might start to get wild after hours. We'll have to see. But right now, I just would totally stay away from this. I actually jumped in really quick when it hit this low, and I think about 470, and I wrote it up. And then I realized how ugly this candle was, and I was out. So I took a quick little profit. I had a few alerts go off because I've been waiting for this low here and lower. Actually, I have some alerts below this number too, but pretty much done for the day with this one unless some crazy stuff happens. Before, I wanted to follow up real quick on Shopify. We were looking at, if you look at my other video, part 2, we were talking about this candle down here, these down here, and how we were waiting for an A leg up, B leg down, and a C to finish above the high, which we've gotten. We actually completed that pattern because we did get the volume that we needed, which was also discussed in that part of the video. So the only way I would jump in is if we get some volume here. We ended up getting that volume. Shop can be really tricky like that. Now it's still consolidating. Pretty strong move. So that pattern actually played out pretty nicely. Tesla was another one. We talked about 737 being important, and we really haven't. I don't think we closed below. After that ugly candle there, I think we were closing above 737 for the most part. I think right here, and haven't looked back. It's kind of been a spark. It busted through 745 pretty easily, and 762 is our next target, and then we said 765. If you're following me on Twitter, those are the numbers that we're looking at. Amazon just went to sleep, which is interesting. But we also, during one of my other videos, I had an alert go off at about 31.85, I think, or 31.85, something like that. And that was to alert me there was resistance, and I missed this trade, but that's okay. It was a good intraday short, but you don't want to short something when it's in this amazing bullish pattern here and busting out, and the markets at all-time highs again. We need more of like a market that's not running this hot to be able to do things like that, in my opinion, or you just get slapped around like all the other shorts that have been getting their asses handed to them because they just pick tops without doing any type of charting or technical analysis. They just think it's too high, and like that doesn't, too high doesn't mean anything, as you've seen what's happening with this market. The market is too high right now, but the market doesn't care that it's too high. You know, that's just arbitrary nonsense. That's not going to help you out when you're trading. So right now, Amazon, I was looking for maybe a pull back down to 3,400, but it's just too slow. There's no volume. It's just nothing to touch right now. Daily chart looks great on that. What a great comeback. Same thing with Apple. I think Apple went to sleep. I got out of it about 134 and change. And it looks like maybe it'll get past this high here. So set some alerts for that. Been waiting for this Apple move for a while, as previously mentioned. TWLO missed out on the move on this one, which we talked about earlier too. We were down here, and I was talking about buying at about 375. Never got there, and definitely one that is giving me a little FOMO right now. But I talked about that too. You don't have to take the trade. I'm not mad about it because this pattern right here was not looking like it was ready to reverse. It was actually looking like it was going to go down. So I'm not just going to gamble on that just because, you know, I think it's going to go up. I did like this as support, so I needed confirmation. I missed it. It came in around the time that you don't want to be trading anyway, which is kind of this 12 to 1 o'clock kind of gross low volume area. And when everyone's away at lunch or just not trading, it just starts to creep up. Maybe you got some short covering here. We're not sure why, but for whatever reason, TWLO made a really nice move. Going back to SOS, and right now the pattern is playing out. If this does not close above 483 on my 10-minute chart, you better believe we're going to start creating this bear flag here, and we're going to drop down to 450 or lower. Volume's tapered off a little bit. 483 right now is kind of our line in the sand for me, at least, where this chart's going to continue to drip down if we can't hold that number. You can see we tried here. We got to a high of 485, got rejected, and we're kind of chilling around that area, 478, 477. So I'm going to set some alerts here. I just want to see what happens with this one. I mean, the thing I like about these is as long as there's a lot of attention on these, there's a lot of volume, it gives you opportunity. Same thing with a ticker like this, which the volume has completely died off on this for some reason, even though just a few days ago it was flying. Let me go to my 4-hour chart. Oops. Yeah, you can see in the 4-hour chart here, the volume we had, I think, was that Thursday. The low of this candle here is 713, so that's our support. I like the 4-hour view. It gives us a nice view of the market. And right now, I mean, this is in a major downtrend, but you had this kind of bullish pattern within a short-term bullish pattern within a long-term bearish pattern. So I'm going to set an alert above this 50 period on the 4-hour. Maybe we'll get a spark above that. The algos will start going off when you get to certain levels. Ultimately, 1007, if you're in this, you're bag holding, that's your number, in my opinion, for you to get a big spark. Let's look at a couple more. Let's look at Shopify one more time. And look at that, we're starting to sell off a little bit. You probably expect some support around this area, like 1238, something like that. I think if I go at a bigger time frame, I think the 50 period, yep, 50 period moving average is right here, which is at almost 1225, 1224 and change. So that's interesting. All of a sudden, Shopify is bullish again. I just had an alert go off. Let's see what's going on there. SOS below 475. Now I got the police song in my head now. I can't get that out. Alright, let's go to SOS. The day is almost over. I wonder if there's any earnings after that we can look at. Sometimes if there's some big names on earnings, maybe we could play them after the bell. And there's going to be a lot coming up in, I think at the beginning of May, we start getting some of the bigger names. But I hope everyone's having a good day today and that you're making good decisions. And remember, don't let the trade control you.